Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about how to create a database using SQL Server. We're going to start by defining what is a database and then talk a little bit about SQL Server and then dive into how to create a database using SQL Server. Okay, without any more delay, let's get going. What is a database? A database is simply a collection of information that is organized so that it can be easily accessed, managed, and updated. That is, in simple words, what is a database? It's simply a location, a virtual location that contains information for further use, update, or being managed. Okay, uh, what is a SQL Server? SQL Server is the Microsoft RDBMS. RDBMS only stands for Relational Database Management System. Okay, is a place where you can easily create a relational database. Sorry about that. Manage it, update it, pretty much do everything that you need for a database. Okay, and how do you create a database in SQL Server? Well, first of all, before you create a database, it is obvious that you have to install SQL Server in your database. First of all, you start by knowing what are your entities. Entities are simply objects that end up becoming your tables while when you start creating your database. Say, for example, that you want to create a database that manages your. Let me grab an example here real quick. You want to create a database that manage all your phone contacts, for example. Okay, how do you recognize the entities in your database, actually, what you're trying to create? So you start thinking about elements like, okay, who am I trying to manage? Okay, I'm trying to manage contacts. Okay, so contacts are pretty much people. So there you can see that we already have an entity called people or person, if you will. Okay, we have one entity, and then these entities also can generate other entities. For example, we already recognize that we have one entity, which is a person. Okay, but this person also have an identity. Okay, he's got a name, he's got an address, he's got a phone number, he's got an email, all that good stuff. So what we're trying to do here is we recognize the entity first, and then we start uh, uh, find attributes that will go along with the entity because the entity is not going to be empty. Okay, so the entity end up becoming a table while the attributes end up becoming the properties of the table. Okay, so here to be short, we have a person, entity, and then we have attributes such as name. If you want to break down your attributes, you can go by just full name or have a like a first name, middle name, and last name if you want. But for the purpose of this example, we want to keep it simple and short. Okay, so we have name as an attribute. We have, in this case, we're going to use full name as an attribute. We have an address, okay, and we gonna just add a phone number. Okay, so we got three attributes. Okay, but if we look closely, there's a concept called database normalization. Okay, uh, uh, normalization of a database only means that you wanna give more flexibility to the database. You wanna um, eliminate redundancies. You wanna quickly return your information, all that. Uh, what I meant by that is say that we have this table called person, okay, that has a full name and the address. But if you pay closely attention to the attribute address, we can see that that attribute could actually be broke down to different other attributes, or that later will become eventually tables. For example, we can see that in the attribute address, we can have zip code. A zip code can have multiple people who live in the same zip code. We have a street name. We can have multiple people who live in the same street name. So basically, we have to normalize all that process. But this is another subject that we're going to probably touch in future sessions. Today, I'm going to keep it simple. As I say, we were trying to learn how to create a database in SQL Server. Okay, so what you do next is, after installing your SQL Server, the simple steps that you go through is, after you go through all that good stuff, or recognizing entities, knowing what you want, create, and all that, you when you install SQL Server, it automatically create a server instance. So to create a database, you gonna log into that entity, that server entity. You gonna see that the SQL Server window is gonna have a couple properties, or a bar on the left side of your screen, which will contain the name of your server instance, and below you're gonna have uh, uh, an icon that will say database. So simply what you do is right click on the icon that says database, and you're gonna have this sub menu that will appear, where you're gonna actually choose the option new database. After choosing the option new database, you're gonna have a pretty pop-up windows that will show up, where you have to write the name of your database, uh, what the location that you want it to be, and then simply click OK. And there you go. You have a database created. But eventually it's going to be a database with a table. Okay, then you have to create table. But for this subject matter, we only wanted to talk about how to create a database in SQL Server. Okay, that was it, and see you next time. Thank you.